What a chapter. What a chapter of Gintama. This one was just pure, raw fighting and finding more out about Takasugi and Gintoki's past. This is some of the stuff that I've been wanting to know for a long time in the series, and I'm finally happy that they're actually covering this material now. So we see a little bit like in their past and all that during the Amanta War, and they're like, the two of them made a promise and they swore to it, and it was like, the only thing Takasugi wanted was that he protect Sensei if he died. Because this explains a lot about Takasugi, why he even went on this rampage in the first place, is because Gintoki never kept that promise. That was the only thing that was keeping him going wild, and we see in this little past flashback about how wild he could get, like how crazy he get, and it was probably because of their sensei that he was actually able to control himself, and now he hasn't got those shackles to bound him. He's just out there like a wild animal. And he made, like, Gintoki only made one wish to him, and that was for him to live. So technically, he's the only one that's keeping up to their promise, but if, like, Gintoki actually kills him, then he's breaking his own promise to him. So it's going to be a very interesting fight, but I just loved how this fight was going. There was actually no words for the whole fight. Like, there was just no words. The two were just slashing each other, trying to go into the chest like that, hitting each other with the hilts and shit like that. It was a fucking intense fight, and I was absolutely loving it. At first, I was like, when we was getting back into more of like the flashback, I was going, no, I want to see more of this fight. Like, I'm really happy that we're getting Gintoki and Takasugi fighting right now. Since last week, we just had all of Kagura's fight going on. But I was like, this is important stuff. This isn't like, you know, no joke shit like that. This is actually generally what their past was. This is what they went through, and it's like, we see like Takasugi was like a genius at first, like he was like a genius swordsman, and that he was just brilliant in doing it, and that he was like pretty much kind of like picking on other kids because he was like, well, you've got to train better, you've got to do better if I want to go seriously against you. And it's like, both even him and Katsura, they say, yo, what are you doing? Like, stop beating these kids up, they're kind of here to train. And that was one thing, is that like where a whole bunch of like their brothers and shit were like saying, oh, so you're taking on our little kids and beating them up, huh? And just out of nowhere, Gintoki just comes flying with the sword. He's like, yeah, okay, just shut up, man. It's like, just going, like, have a sleep or something like that. Just do something, shut up. And I just love how he was just, like, literally probably not about to go in if there wasn't their sensei, like, knocking all of them out. And then he just knocks Gintoki. I was like, oh, yeah, what you made up there was really nice. And he just smashes him to the ground like that. We find out a lot about him, that, you know, his name is Yoshida Shoyo. And he actually, because a lot of the time it's like you have to be a very expensive like family. You have to pay a lot of money to, you know, become a samurai, or a lot of other life that is. But actually, Yoshida is actually a teacher that teaches poor children as well to read, to write, you know, from like rich families and all that. And it's like, and teaches them the art of the sword. He teaches them how to be a samurai, and that's a very interesting thing. What I like about that is like this is the kind of the person we've seen, because we've seen little bits about him. We see how he met Gintoki. We saw like a lot of the backstory and all that, and like just literally what happened around about the end. We've got little snippets, but we never really saw Gintoki, Takasugi, and Katsu's little journey together. Like, how did they exactly, all like the three of them, like fully like became like pretty much brothers in arms. So that's one thing very interesting about the chapter, and I hope they extend that in this arc, because this is like getting up to like, normally Gintama doesn't have this long arc, but I believe this might be one of the longest arcs that Gintama's had, and it kind of would suit this, because honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this series is going to end soon. It wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, if it ends off with a bang like this, if it ends with this arc, I am perfectly fine with it, because this was amazing. It's like, I just wish that like they were still releasing the manga over here. I would just love to just keep picking up the manga, because there's like only a select few of that. I would love to be like caught up to the manga right now. Like, we had like about 40 volumes out. That'd be amazing. But other than that, I absolutely love this chapter. I'm going to give this a solid 9. This was an absolute solid, amazing chapter. Loved all the stuff we find out. This is stuff we've been wanting to know for years. For like, if you've ever seen the Gintama series, but I'm like, I loved it. I was absolutely happy with it. What do you think about that's going to happen next week? Are you going to expand more into like Gintoki and Takasugi's life, or do you think we're going to go back to the fight, or who knows? Do you think we'll go back into even Kagura with her fight with Kamui? But that's all from me. So thank you very much for watching as always, and I'll see you guys next time.